Good evening. Welcome to Kenyan News Update today. I'm your host, and tonight we're taking a global tech story and examining its potential impact right here. The topic, Samsung's newly announced Galaxy S26 series, promising what the company calls the most proactive AI, pro-grade video, and a significant privacy breakthrough. This isn't just another phone launch, it's being framed as the dawn of the third generation of smartphones. But what does that actually mean for the average Kenyan consumer? And is this technological leap forward worth the inevitable premium price tag? We'll dive deep over the next 12 minutes, presenting multiple perspectives from tech analysts, privacy advocates, and potential users. First, let's break down exactly what Samsung unveiled. The Galaxy S26 series consists of three models: the standard S26, the S26 Plus, and the top-tier S26 Ultra. Samsung is calling this its third generation of iPhones, building on the foundations laid by the S24 and S25 series. The core promise is a shift from reactive to proactive artificial intelligence. Instead of waiting for your command, the phone's AI is designed to anticipate your needs. It can manage your calendar, suggest optimal routes based on your habits and real-time traffic, and even draft responses to messages by analyzing the context of the conversation. According to Samsung's press release, the AI is engineered to reduce the number of steps required for common tasks by an estimated 40% compared to previous generations. That's a bold claim. On the camera front, Samsung is pushing pro-grade video capabilities directly into the smartphone. The S26 Ultra, in particular, is said to feature a new quad camera system with a 200-megapixel main sensor, a 50-megapixel periscope telephoto lens capable of 10 times optical zoom, and enhanced eye stabilization that claims to reduce shaky footage by up to 65% in challenging conditions. For content creators, this could be a game changer, potentially rivaling dedicated equipment. But the most intriguing announcement is the privacy breakthrough. Samsung is introducing what it terms on-device AI Vault. This is a hardware-isolated, encrypted partition on the phone's chip where all sensitive AI processing occurs. The company states that personal data used for proactive suggestions, like your location, message history, or app usage patterns, never leaves this vault. It is processed locally and then immediately deleted. Samsung claims this vault is so secure that even if the phone's main operating system is compromised, the data within the AI vault remains inaccessible. They are backing this with an independent security audit from a firm called Digital Trust Labs, which gave the system a 99.8% resilience score against simulated attacks. Now, let's bring in our first perspective. Tech analyst Michael Kari-Uki joins us. Michael, these specs sound impressive, but is this a meaningful evolution or just marketing hype? Michael Kari-Uki, thank you for having me. I think it's a bit of both, but leaning towards meaningful evolution. The shift to proactive AI is the logical next step. We've seen assistants like Siri and Google Assistant for years, but they're largely command-based. The S26's AI aims to understand context and patterns. For instance, if you leave work every day at 5:30 p.m. and have a gym session logged in your calendar for 6 p.m., the phone could proactively pull up traffic, suggest when to leave, and even cue your workout playlist, all without being asked. The 40% reduction in steps isn't just about speed, it's about cognitive offloading. However, the real test will be in its accuracy. An AI that gets things wrong is more frustrating than helpful. The pro-grade video claims are also significant. The 65% improvement in stabilization, if true, addresses a major pain point for mobile videography, especially in a market like Kenya, where vlogging and social media content creation is booming. A creator who might have spent 150,000 shillings on a gimbal and a basic camera could now achieve similar stability with just their phone. That's a compelling value proposition for a specific demographic. Host, and what about the privacy vault? Is that as big a deal as Samsung is making it out to be? Michael Kari-Uki, potentially, yes. The tech industry is at an inflection point with AI and privacy. Consumers are increasingly wary of their data being sent to the cloud. A 2025 survey by the Kenya ICT Authority showed that 78% of smartphone users expressed high concern about how their personal data is used by AI features. Samsung's on-device AI Vault directly addresses that fear. The 99.8% security audit score is a strong piece of evidence. If it holds up to real-world scrutiny, it could set a new industry standard and force Apple, Google, and others to follow suit. It turns a privacy weakness, AI needing your data, into a potential selling point. Host, thank you, Michael. Now, let's hear a counterpoint. We're joined by Aisha Mohammed, a digital rights advocate with the Kenya chapter of Privacy International. Aisha, you've been critical of tech companies' privacy claims in the past. Does Samsung's Vault convince you? Aisha Mohammed, good evening. I appreciate the technological effort, and a local processing model is undoubtedly better than sending everything to the cloud. However, we must be cautiously optimistic, not celebratory. My first concern is verification. Samsung's audit is a start, but it needs continuous, transparent third-party oversight. Who is Digital Trust Labs? Are their methodologies public? We need more than a percentage score. Secondly, the Vault only protects data used for the proactive AI features. What about all the other data the phone collects? Your browsing history through Samsung Internet, your app purchases, your device diagnostics? That data still flows to Samsung and its partners under their existing privacy policy. The vault is a fortified room in a house that might have other open windows. Furthermore, we must consider the Kenyan context. Our Data Protection Act is robust on paper, but enforcement is a challenge. If there were a breach, how would Kenyan users be notified and compensated? Samsung's global policy might not align with our local legal expectations. Finally, there's the question of cost. Advanced hardware-based security isn't free. This technology will undoubtedly contribute to the S26's price, which early rumors suggest could start at 180,000 shillings for the base model. Are we creating a future where strong privacy is a luxury feature, only affordable to the wealthy? That's a dangerous precedent. We should advocate for these protections to become baseline requirements, not premium add-ons. Host, a compelling argument, Aisha. The cost factor is crucial. Let's explore that economic angle further. The Galaxy S26 Ultra is rumored to retail for around 250,000 shillings in Kenya. To put that in perspective, that's approximately 120% of the current average monthly salary for a formal sector employee in Nairobi, which stands at about 208,000 shillings. It's a monumental investment. Who is this phone really for? Is it for the everyday Kenyan, or is it a niche product for professionals and enthusiasts? We spoke to several Kenyans on the street. Brian, a freelance graphic designer, said, "The video features are tempting for my work, but 250,000 shillings? I could build a powerful desktop workstation for that, or pay 6 months of my rent. The AI would be cool, but it's not essential." Conversely, Lynn, a social media influencer with over 500,000 followers, told us, "If the video quality is as good as they say and saves me from carrying extra gear, it's a business investment. The time I save could be worth the cost. The privacy stuff is a nice bonus, honestly." This highlights the split. For some, it's an aspirational luxury. For others, it's a potential professional tool. The question is whether the benefits, the time saved by AI, the quality of content created, genuinely translate into a return on investment. Let's visualize the cost comparison. Looking at this bar chart, we see the rumored starting price of the Galaxy S26 Ultra at 250,000 shillings. Compare that to the current flagship competitor, the iPhone 16 Pro Max, at 220,000 shillings, and the previous generation Galaxy S25 Ultra, which you can now find for around 160,000 shillings. The S26 represents a significant price jump. Is the AI and privacy vault worth a 90,000 shilling premium over last year's model? Analysts are also watching the broader market impact. Samsung holds approximately 25% of the Kenyan smartphone market share in the premium segment, phones above 80,000 shillings. This launch is their bid to not just maintain, but grow that share by defining the high-end category. However, Chinese manufacturers like Tecno and Infinix are rapidly incorporating AI features into much more affordable devices, some as low as 30,000 shillings. Their AI might not be as proactive or secure, but for many consumers, good enough AI at a quarter of the price is a more rational choice. This creates a fascinating tiered market: budget AI phones for basic tasks, mid-range for good performance, and ultra-premium for cutting edge. Secure AI. The risk for Samsung is alienating the upper mid-range consumer who might see the S26 as overpriced and opt for a well-spec'd S25 or a competitor's model. Let's bring in another perspective. We have David Omondi, a cybersecurity consultant who has worked with local banks. David, from a purely technical standpoint, how impressive is this on-device AI vault? David Omondi, thank you. The architecture is, on paper, very sophisticated. Using a hardware-isolated partition, often called a secure enclave, isn't new. It's in iPhones and some high-end Android chips for biometric data. But extending it to encompass a dynamic, learning AI's entire dataset is a complex engineering challenge. The 99.8% resilience score, if from a reputable audit, suggests they've hardened it against a wide array of attacks, including side-channel attacks that try to infer data from power consumption or timing. For the Kenyan market, where digital banking and mobile money are paramount, this has interesting implications. Imagine if your financial apps could use an on-device AI to analyze your spending and warn you of fraud, all without your transaction history ever being exposed to a server. That's the kind of application this enables. However, as Aisha noted, the devil is in the details. The vault's security is only as strong as the code that manages the gate. Any software bug in the access controls could be exploited. It also requires users to trust that Samsung has implemented it correctly and won't alter its function with a future software update that weakens its protections. It's a major step, but not a silver bullet. Host, let's talk about the environmental and practical lifespan. A phone this advanced is packed with rare earth minerals and complex components. With such a high price, consumers will expect it to last. Samsung is promising 4 generations of Android OS upgrades and 5 years of security patches for the S26 series. That's a commitment that the phone should remain functional and secure until at least 2031. In a country where phones are often used for 4 to 5 years, this is a critical selling point. It attempts to justify the initial outlay by spreading the cost over a longer period. But this also raises the question of repairability. Are these complex, AI-optimized components easy and affordable to fix in Kenya? If the specialized AI processor fails, can it be replaced at a local repair shop, or does it require a whole motherboard swap costing a small fortune? Samsung's global repair network is limited here, which could be a major downside for long-term ownership. Now, let's synthesize these perspectives. On one hand, the Galaxy S26 series represents a genuine technological leap, particularly in making AI more intuitive and private. The proactive features could save real time and mental energy. The video capabilities empower creators. The Privacy Vault, if it works as advertised, is an industry-leading response to a growing consumer demand. On the other hand, the cost is prohibitive for the vast majority, raising ethical questions about access to premium privacy. Its benefits are most tangible for professionals who can leverage it for income, making it a business tool rather than a consumer gadget. The Kenyan market will likely respond in a segmented way. A small percentage of early adopters, professionals, and tech enthusiasts will buy it at launch. The majority will wait, watching for prices to drop, for real-world reviews to verify Samsung's claims, and for these technologies to trickle down to more affordable models in the coming years. The true impact of the S26 may not be its sales figures in 2026, but how it pushes the entire industry, including more budget-friendly brands, to prioritize on-device AI processing and stronger privacy architectures. In many ways, the Galaxy S26 is a prototype for the smartphone of 2030, available today at a premium. For Kenya, a nation embracing the digital economy at a rapid pace, the principles it champions, efficiency, content creation, and data sovereignty are highly relevant. The challenge is making those principles accessible. As Aisha pointed out, we must advocate for strong privacy to be a standard right, not a luxury privilege. And as consumers, we must critically evaluate whether the proactive future is one we need or simply one we're being sold. That's all the time we have for this deep dive. A complex launch with implications for technology, privacy, and market dynamics here in Kenya and across the world. What's your take? Is the Galaxy S26's AI and privacy worth the high price? Let us know in the comments below. For Kenya News Update Today, I'm your host. Subscribe to Kenya News Update Today for more in-depth analysis of the stories that matter.